Welcome back, guys. We are live again after a absolute horrendous time for me. I don't know what happened. Live stream logged off, but we're back, obviously, to talk about the 4-2 win for Barcelona against Slavia Prague. Make sure you like the video, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts live stream also, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. So, I just wanted to talk and go and cover the next portion of the video, which should have been, and that was basically the defensive chaos and how it returned to the actual whole game. Now, we saw it obviously in Sociedad, and we saw it in this game also. A very horrendous defensive performance from Barcelona at times. Not overall across the match. They weren't too poor overall, but at some certain times, I didn't see Barcelona really defending their lines well. And that was mostly in the very first half. Let's be honest in this one. So we really needed to see Barcelona come out of their shell, and they did. They did put, obviously, Sociedad away. I mean, Slavia Prague away. And they did it emphatically at the end of the day. That's all that needed to be, really. So I look at this game and say so many different things about performances from certain players in the very first 20 minutes. And most importantly, we need to talk about Pedri's injury, yeah? And what's the actual confirmed length? I'm not sure what's happening. It looked decently serious for Barcelona, and Barcelona fans will be completely irate at that once again, because Pedri's run his socks off once again in the match. He did some good stuff today. Obviously, the twist and turn to give, obviously, Fermín López the pass for the goal. That's what Pedri does. Like, he controls the possession. He does it really well. He maintains the rhythm, the tempo of the team. And to miss him is such a crucial blow to Barcelona, especially when you're looking at next week and the games. So it was looking bad for Pedri some portions of the match. Same as Rafinha, absolutely. Jord Hanhi, he says same thing. Rafinha didn't look the same. I don't think he was looking as bright as he was before, obviously, that Sociedad match took place, obviously, in the Super Cup final. Nowhere near the same. He's definitely carrying a knock. And it's always going to be a situation where Pedri is super crucial to the team. It's understandable. And King in the Making here says that big issue for me is that Barca, out of all the elite teams, do not have a single defender in their squad. We need to fix this come summer in the ambition to compete at the top. Bless up, King. Bless up, bro. Always one of the main contributors to the channel. Much appreciated. And this is absolutely right. You see it. Time and time again, Barcelona's defense struggled. That first goal, the corner, they struggled league going into potential coming. And that's where I ended the last stream. I was ending the live stream by talking about the actual games, what's coming up, obviously Copenhagen, and then you have other teams like Newcastle, PSG. They have the chance to get into the knockouts, but they need to convincingly beat Copenhagen. So, yeah, unbelievably, that Juzo says in the chat that fatigue is definitely catching up with the Barcelona this season. You can see it by the intensity they're playing. They need to work something different here. They need to be in a different wavelength altogether. And you have to understand that Barcelona playing like this consistently will take its toll. And when you have players like OLMO, though, coming off the bench and making impacts also, they do have the squad to actually make an impact in the game when it's most crucial. And you saw OLMO do that. So there are heavy things to analyze in this match. One of them is the fact that key moments change the game. Because Fermín López picking up the ball, and then obviously Pedri also in tune with that as well, obviously with the layoff, and then Fermín López with 2 goals before half time in pretty much quick succession is how Barcelona roll sometimes. They just turn up the heat and they kill off a game instantly. So that is definitely something to look at. The intensity absolutely is there, but the intensity can definitely catch up with them. So the qualification for the Champions League is explained like this. They need to actually batter Copenhagen to stand any chance of qualifying automatically for the top 8. They need to destroy Copenhagen. Do you think they can do that? In the chat, let me know. In the comments, let me know. I think they can. I think Barcelona playing at home in front of their fans and playing against Copenhagen. Copenhagen, obviously a tough team anyway. But these players, they need to turn up for Barcelona. That's factual. They need to turn up for for the fans. And they need to give Barcelona fans a convincing performance, because today was convincing if you look at the scoreline on paper, but first 20 minutes, very poor from Barcelona, I would say, until they got into the rhythm of the game. And then Sociedad, a poor match in terms of finishing their chances. They need to perform on a different wavelength altogether against Copenhagen. They need to be on a different wavelength, in incredible wavelength. So I don't think, Piercing, I don't think Barca can, I'm going to be honest, like, we're talking at the top teams in Europe at the moment, and PSG are still counting into that, the defending champs. So you have to look at it like that as well. But Arsenal, PSG, Bayern Munich, if you look at those three, can Bayern Munich, maybe PSG, in terms of their run of form and how they're playing now. But Arsenal, no. I don't think Arsenal stand a chance against. I don't think Barcelona stand a chance against Arsenal. I've got to be honest. If you look at that top flight, and Real Madrid, I'm going to say right now they're sitting pretty in terms of the table, but they're not even competing at that level either. We need to see so much more from Real Madrid to do the same thing. But Barcelona, their attack stands out. I could say that. If they have Yamal, they have Rafinha, they have Lewandowski, Fermín López on form, they can trouble any team in the world of football. But they can't have just one player shine. They have to have all of them shine as well. So, yeah, it's definitely a talking point. So we need to see that, really. We need to see that. And you need to understand that Copenhagen is going to be a very, very tough match. Trust me in this one. Copenhagen, they have also the chance also to get into the playoffs. So it's always going to be a tough match looking at the table. Copenhagen just sitting 26, 8 points as well. Napoli, they can, if they do get the goals, they can. They need to get the win and hope that the likes of Monaco, PSV, Athletic Bilbao, Olympiacos fall off, and Napoli fall off as well, because Napoli can get into that as well. So Copenhagen, they need to win. They have the chance to qualify, and you need to see that. As Barcelona fans, I'm going to be honest. So it is a very true test of time. And can Barca avoid the playoffs? Potentially. I think they can. They just need to absolutely annihilate Copenhagen. That's what they need to do. Yeah? So it's always going to be the case there, mate. It's always going to be the case. Let's talk about, obviously, Fermín López and OLMO as well, because OLMO coming on was a masterstroke by Flick. Obviously, when OLMO comes on, he looks like a different beast than when he starts. I've got to be honest. Like, OLMO against Sociedad was not the best. He missed a lot of chances. He's getting the good positions, but he was decent. But, like, Fermín López and OLMO, when they're on game, they are very difficult to stop. That shot that OLMO did into the top right corner was unbelievable. Sensational strike by OLMO. So they need to really just understand where OLMO sits in this lineup, where Fermín López sits in this lineup, because there's so many instances in matches where OLMO and Fermín can turn up at the blink of an eye and you never see it coming. It's really crazy, honestly. I think we are closer to finishing above Madrid than playing in the playoffs. No, I don't think so. I think Barcelona, Real Madrid are beating Benfica away. That's factual. We know that already. Yeah. Barcelona, they're looking at. Let me just run through the teams, guys. Okay. And I'm going to run through the matches of the teams that Barcelona are competing with in the terms of the 13th point and 14th point teams. Tottenham Hotspur. Let me run through it. Okay. Tottenham Hotspur playing Frankfurt away. That could be a difficult game because just of the manner of things, but Frankfurt have not qualified. They have no chance of qualifying. So Tottenham look like they're going through automatically. PSG versus Newcastle. That is the game that Barcelona are looking at, because one of those teams have to win, and Newcastle have to win that game. They have to, but they're playing in Paris. it would be the occasion that Newcastle sends PSG into the playoffs. But Newcastle, they need to beat PSG to get automatically placed. Chelsea, their matches against Napoli away. I think they'll beat Napoli away, honestly. So, Chelsea, 100%, yeah? Barcelona, they play Copenhagen. Sporting Lisbon, yeah? Sporting Lisbon play Bilbao away. Bilbao actually gave Barcelona a knees up today. Atalanta got beaten by Bilbao today. And that got them in knees up. Because if Bilbao didn't win that game, they would have been pretty much out of the game. Out of the Champions League already. So, that was crazy to see that result. Bilbao obviously gave Barcelona knees up. Man City playing Galatasaray at home. That's going to be a tough match for them, but I think they'll win. Atletico Madrid facing Bodo Glimt. Atletico Madrid will beat Bodo Glimt at the Metropolitano. I can guarantee that off by heart, yeah? Atalanta, yeah, will play Union Saint-Gilloise away. So that is going to be tough. Those teams, and we're going to look at the goal difference here as well. Matter of goal difference. PSG, Newcastle, both on 10. I don't think Barcelona catching that. I've got to be honest. Barcelona would need to have a crazy performance to even catch that. Yeah? Chelsea are obviously one goal difference ahead. Chelsea will probably have a tougher game against Napoli than Barcelona against Copenhagen. So if you're looking at it, Barcelona, if I look at it overall, I say that Barcelona probably will qualify for the knockouts. I probably guarantee that Barcelona qualify for the knockouts. I'm just looking at the balance of the table and seeing that Barcelona playing Copenhagen at the Nou Camp. That's a different level altogether. Barcelona should wipe the floor with Copenhagen at the Nou Camp. I've got to be honest. They should. If Rafinha's on form, if Yamal is back, Yamal is obviously going to be on form there. Who knows? It's all depending, obviously, on the weekend game, and then it's depending on that Champions League game as well. So, there's so many things to factor in here. I've got to be honest that Barcelona, they need that game against Copenhagen to be an absolute whitewash. They need it. They cannot allow Copenhagen to get a goal and start trying to claw back games and goals, That would be madness for them. They can't do that. You know? So, I think it should be at least 3-0 to 4-0 for Barcelona to qualify. If Barcelona score 4 goals, they're in the knockouts. That's facts. Barcelona score 4 goals, they're in the knockouts. If they score 3, then it's up to Chelsea and Napoli. I have no idea what Liam Rosenior has for Chelsea against Napoli. But Barcelona, all they need to do is focus on their own game. If they focus on their own game and they get their goals, they're in the knockouts. They need to batter Copenhagen. Yeah? It would be way more difficult at Copenhagen, like Mr. Range says. Absolutely. Definitely more difficult. But they need to batter Copenhagen. That's the way it's going to be. So, just to obviously cover off this stream, obviously this is part 2, guys, so make sure you check out part 1 also. I was talking more about Fermín López and OLMO. Yeah? Final thoughts on the players and who I liked on today's match. Obviously, there's no question that I put Fermín López at the top of my list because he was outstanding. Yeah? But if I look at the team today, let me just go into the team so I can see. So, in the lineup today, obviously, De Jong, sensational today. De Jong was absolutely sensational, yeah? Got an assist, sensational today. This guy, sometimes when he turns up, is like the guy skating on ice. Like, you cannot get the ball off him. Like, he's passing, his maneuvers, everything that he does is incredible, yeah? The defense was not bad, but they were just shaky in corners. I got to be honest. They were completely shaky. I think Koundé did better than Balde, I've got to be honest, yeah? And Eric Garcia was great today also. Like, especially in the centre park when you're looking to disturb the natural flow in terms of Slavia Prague trying to come back into the game, Eric Garcia had a great game. Lopez obviously had the man of the match performance. Rafinha was actually kind of missing. I don't know. Like, I can't remember who put it in the chat, but it seems like he's covering a knock. I think that's the case. So, Rafinha definitely in there. And, yeah, Lewandowski obviously got his goal. But apart from that, what did really Lewandowski do? He was decent in terms of trying to work the ball, trying to obviously feed other players, but not really the best performance apart from the goal. That's what Lewandowski is, a fox in a box. But Lopez, brilliant. Olmo, sensational goal. Sensational goal. But guess what, guys, yeah? One of the main star performers today was Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford changed the flipping game, mate. He came on, the pace and the pace, how he utilized that to just attack Slavia Prague's defense was nuts. Like, Marcus Rashford was probably one of the best players on the pitch. I don't know if you agree with me, but I saw Marcus Rashford terrorizing the defense on countless occasions, taking people on, driving at the defense. Marcus Rashford was one of the best players in that team today by a country mile. Yeah, so good. But Fermín López absolutely deserved credit. He was good from start to finish. Essentially, on 20 minutes, everybody was horrible. But apart from that, afterwards, when Barcelona woke up, Fermín López was the guy, mate. Took 2 brilliant goals, and that's it, mate. Simple, yeah? Like, Rashford, in terms of number 9, potentially, Chris, I don't know. Could be. Could be. We need to understand the way he's sitting with that. But, yeah. I'm not sure about Pedri's injury. Let me check about Pedri's injury. Yeah. Okay, so breaking news. FC Barcelona coach Flick sheds light on Pedri's injury as recovery time healed. So let me just read this, okay? I might clip this up as well. I might put this onto a video tomorrow as well. I might do a live stream on this. So FC coach Barcelona Hansi Flick was revealed Pedri has a hamstring problem. We saw him brought off during the team's 4-2 win, obviously, over Slavia Prague. Champions League Wednesday. Pedri went to the ground around the hour mark in the Czech Republic with his manager Flick. Yep. Pedri might be out for a month, guys. He'll be out for a month, apparently. That's what they say. So he's going to miss the last UCL match. And let's see Barcelona's games. If I'm looking at it. Okay. Pedri Oviedo doesn't need it. Oh, King, bro. Much appreciated, bro. Thank you very much for making that donation again. You're such a legend, honestly. You are like, well, you are the king, mate. You're the king. King says it's tied between 5th and 15th, but if we just batter Copenhagen by 4 goals, you'll be in the top 8, absolutely. Napoli give Chelsea a game, and Bilbao have something to fight for now, so they might do well. Blessings, bro. Cheers, King in the making. Much appreciated, bruv. Much appreciated. Yeah, you are obviously a legend in this space, and yeah, big up wins, guys. Put wins in the chat for King in the making, guys. Put win for King, bro. Yeah. Win for King, mate. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you much, guys. And thank you much for King, obviously, for putting that in the chat as well. Elche, Barcelona. So if we're talking about Pedri's injury, Oviedo at home, easy enough. Copenhagen at home, easy enough. Elche away, that's going to be a tough game to not have Pedri, because you know how Elche control the ball. To not have Pedri in that game away from home, yeah, unreal. That's a tough game. That's a tough one. A very, very tough one. Super tough, guys. Yeah. Unbelievable. That is a super tough game, I've got to be honest. That Elche game is staring me in the face, yeah. Albacete away, they'll beat them. Mallorca at home, you'll beat. Girona away, you'll beat. So we're probably going until Levante. So Girona, up to Girona. Yeah. So I think it's that. I don't think Revo is not going to take 2. You need 4. You need 4. I'm telling you why you need 4, because other teams around could also put the foot down. Barcelona need to be at least 2 clear goals of Chelsea and the other teams. They need 4. They definitely need 4. Absolutely. And would it be a good game for Bernal to step up potentially against Copenhagen? You never know. You never know. We're one of the best teams right now, but not in the top 3, but probably a top 5 team still. Are Barcelona top 5 at the moment? I don't know. I can argue a case for it, but I can argue a case against it. Attacking wise, Barcelona have a top 5. Attacking wise, they're top 5. Defensive wise, they're not. That's the only thing I could say, really. Like, defensive wise, Barcelona on top 5. Their defense lets them down hugely. We saw it today. We saw against Sociedad. Their defense lets them down massively in matches. So it's just very, very weird. You know, very, very weird. Like, I've got to understand, mate. I've got to understand it. So, like, Girona, Barcelona, Mallorca, Elche, decent matches, and I think Barcelona could win them all. It's just Pedri in that Elche. That Elche match is tough, guys. Yeah? That tough. I might actually do a stream on this. And what's the ramifications of Pedri's injury? Because Pedri always going to be a massive player missing, you know? Defensive-wise. Defensive-wise, they're a top 100 for sure. Yeah, probably. Who knows, guys? Who knows, mate? It's just weird, mate. Attacking wide Barca is top 2, but I only put Bayern above in attack right now. Yes, that and... look, I'm going to say it right now, yeah. In terms of goals, yeah, we know it. Barca and Bayern are the top 2. Barca and Bayern are the top 2 in goals. Yeah, that's facts, mate. So, they need to show it. They need to show it against Copenhagen, I've got to be honest. They need to show it. Madrid are not going to drop points against Benfica. That's facts, mate. That's facts, mate. Yeah? If we include also, I think Inter, you'll beat Inter this time around. I've got to be honest. Inter are not that good this season. They're not that good. They're nowhere near last season's. They're different. They're different. Yeah, Inter are decent, but Arsenal wipe the floor with them just by overlapping, creating external options in the final third. Like Arsenal beat them convincingly well. Attacking wise, they're on behind Bayern. That's it. Simple. That's I know. Real Madrid are not even in the top 5 attacking. I got to be honest. They're probably not in the top 5 clubs at the moment. That's facts. I know that. Even though we beat Monaco 6-1, I still do not count that. So, yeah. Tottenham ain't winning versus Frankfurt. They have 14 points, but Frankfurt don't have anything to play for. That's the difference. Frankfurt are out. I don't think they care. I don't care. I don't think Frankfurt are out. I think Tottenham, yeah, Tottenham will qualify automatically. Something tells me that Tottenham will qualify automatically, getting absolutely pumped in the knockout rounds. Tottenham are getting pumped in the... You know, I hope we meet Tottenham in the knockout rounds. I'm going to be honest, mate. I'm going to be honest. Anyway, we move. But guys, honestly, thank you very much for joining the stream. Much appreciated. Apologies about the freezing earlier. I don't know what happened there, yeah? I can't merge the 2 videos together. You're going to have to do part 1, part 2. This was more of a chill stream. Part 1 was more of kind of like an opening to the match and everything. So make sure you check out part 1 if you haven't. Check out part 2 also, yeah? And apologies about freezing. My computer just went like that, out of the blue, yeah? And it just froze YouTube, mate. Yeah, it just froze. YouTube, sometimes what they do is they allow the stream to carry on. However, it didn't allow to do that this time. So, unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes. But, guys, much appreciated, obviously. Thank you much, everyone, for joining. Thank you for the Super Chats, King. Much appreciated, bro. We're going to redirect to Lee Gunner, who's doing a stream about trophies, about Arsenal and so forth, yeah? So, we ended the stream, guys, prematurely early, but we're now not ending the stream. We're actually redirecting the stream to Lee Gunner. Make sure you put Dave Raid in the chat, and we'll see you next time on another episode and another match reaction. Take care, guys. Adios, and we'll see you next time, people.